The beginning of a peaceful summer. A teenage girl named Mary and her parents, John and Emma, drove out to their peaceful lake house, a beautiful wooden home surrounded by tall trees and quiet water. Mary was bright, athletic, and full of life. She liked swimming. They needed this getaway, a few days of peace, away from the city. Her parents were loving and protective, especially after losing their son. Mary go forward to spending time with her friend Paige. In town, Mary met up with Paige at a small store. There they met a quiet, awkward boy named Justin. He looked nervous, but kind, and he invited them to his motel room, saying he had some good weed to share. The girls hesitated but decided to go. They thought it was just harmless fun, but when they entered that motel room, the world changed forever. People came back from outside. Farag, Sadie, and Francis, Justin's father, his girlfriend, and his uncle. They weren't ordinary people. They were fugitives, killers on the run, the same criminals whose faces were just on the news. And when the girls realized it, it was already too late. Farag, cold and brutal, locked the door. Panic filled the room. He forced the girls, "Don't make any fool." Laughing as they cried, they begged to leave. But Krug only smiled. His gang tied them up, dragged them into a stolen car, and drove deep into the woods. Mary showed the wrong way to them. Mary tried to escape. The car slipped to the side of the road and crushed. Poppy tried to run. She was about to be escaped, but she was arrested again. Krug stabbed her again and again. Mary watched her best friend die before her eyes, then they turned on her. Justin's father forced him to do on Mary. But he don't do that. So Krug violated her in the dirt, in the rain, until she could no longer move. And when she finally found the strength to crawl away, Krug shot her in the back as she swam across the lake. She sank beneath the surface and he thought she was dead. Hours later, Krug and his gang searched for shelter. The storm was strong, and their car broke down near a lonely house. They knocked on the door, pretending to be lost travelers. The couple who opened the door were kind, welcoming and unaware of the monsters standing in front of them. It was John and Emma, Mary's parents. They had no idea that these strangers were the same people who had hurt their daughter. They invited them in, offered them food, a place to rest. Justin, when he saw the photo of Mary, he feels very sad for Mary. So he put the necklace in the kitchen that took from the Mary. Mary's parents placed the mother place, their extra house, and outside in the darkness of the forest. Mary was still alive. After that, Emma heard a faint knock in front of the door. When she opened it, she saw a broken, bloody girl collapse in her arms. It was Mary. Her face was pale, her body cold, and every breath sounded like her last. Emma screamed for John. They laid Mary on the table, shaking, confused, terrified. And then they noticed the necklace in the kitchen. Before Mary left, that around her neck, their eyes widened. They looked at the people sleeping in their extra house. And suddenly, everything made sense. The killers were in their house. They searched for Bodaki to go to town. While Emma searching, Francis reached at her back. They drowned him in the sink, holding his face underwater until the struggle stopped. They didn't find the boat's key. Something inside both parents snapped. Fear turned to fury. Love turned to vengeance, and began to hunt. I secretly entered to the house where a group of guys were sleeping. Justin stole his father's gun and sitting at the foot of the bed. When he saw them, Justin gave them a gun. Sudi was shot in the bathroom. Krug escaped through the window and ran to the main house. Finally, only Krug remained. John caught him and he tried to escape. They fight to the death. In the end, Krug lost and fall. The air was silent except for Mary's weak breathing. Her parents carried her to the boat, heading for help. Their faces were emotionless. The horror of what they had done and what had been done to their daughter would never leave them. They didn't speak a word. There was nothing left to say after that all. At the basement of the house, John dragged Krug to the basement, tied him to a table, and paralyzed him from the neck down. Then in a cold, calm voice he placed Krug's head inside a microwave oven. With one push of a button, a loud voice filled the air. Krug screamed, blood boiling, until the sound stopped. It shows how ordinary people can become monsters when the ones they love are destroyed.